Ladies and gentlemen, in this video, I'm gonna show you how to become a better sniper in Warzone. I'll be going over the best settings for sniping, attachments you should be using on your sniper, and also in-game tips and tricks so by the end of the video, you'll snipe better than Nicholas Irvin, or maybe even an American Sniper. Anyways, without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so let's talk about the different styles of sniping you see in Warzone. First, you got the old-fashioned hard scope, nothing too crazy. Then we have a drag scope, which is basically a hard scope, but instead of keeping the crosshair still, you drag it to the target's cranium. Then when you want to get a little sweaty, you got the quick scope. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, that's as fast as this gets because it's a real sniper. We ain't playing with that punk-ass Car 98. Anyways, this next style I like to call the peek and pop. I'm gonna get them one by one. You can basically incorporate all the different sniping styles while you hide behind a head glitch. Ooh, yeah. First step towards getting better at sniping in Warzone, you're gonna wanna go to any browser you have and type this in the search engine. Just bear with me, guys. I just kidding. Anyways, for this first part, we're gonna go over my settings. All right, so these are my settings right here. Most of these are personal. I'm gonna skip to the nitty and gritty. What's really important when it comes to sniping. You want to go to your dead zone and you want to make sure your left stick minimum and right stick minimum are as low as possible without you experiencing any type of stick drift. And to check to see if you have any, you could do the test right here, put it on, move it around, see if it moves by itself. And if it does, you just have to turn the minimum up and you know it's at a good sweet spot when it's not moving by itself anymore. And also for the left trigger and right trigger, you need to put that at 0 so you have 0 delay when you want to shoot that bullet. Now next we're gonna move over to aiming. These settings are critical when it comes to drag scoping and quick scoping. You want to go to your sensitivity multiplier. The only setting right here that's really important is the ADS sensitivity multiplier focus. You want to keep that at 0.80 to 1. In my opinion, 0.80 works for me. You could throw that at 0.85 to 1 if you crack demon, but me, I'm a regular schmegler. Then you want to go to the aim and advanced settings and copy all these right here. Then you want to go to the aim response curve type, and what I use is dynamic. If you don't know what aim response curve type is, you could think of it as a steering wheel of a car. The curve decides whether a small turn of the steering wheel can make a tiny movement or a big movement. So the higher the scopes of the scale, it'll be faster clicks. It'll feel more like you're playing on a mouse and keyboard, but the lower the scale, like 0.85 where I'm at, is the sweet spot. Well, for me, then you want to move over to custom sensitivity per zoom. These are my sensitivities right here. Now the ADS sensitivity multiplier focuses on how fast the reticle moves while you're aimed down sight, and this plus the aim response curve type will have you having the best shot in Warzone, but you have to make sure you have them both paired up. These are my settings right here. I just have everything at 0.90. The high zoom don't really matter because what in the game has a scope of a patch 10x. Then we're gonna move over to the combat settings, ADS, sight behavior, hold. Of course, you could copy the rest of these, yada yada bing, yada yada boo. And some more important settings are these right here. You want to make sure your field of view is at 120 because if you're gonna be a real sniper, you need to see everything in a battlefield, gentlemen. Keep this at affected, wide. Yeah, you just copy the rest of this. The rest isn't really that important. If you've been missing a lot of shots and you feel like you're just bad at sniping in Warzone, it's probably not you. It's the attachments you're using. The wrong setup on even the best sniper in Warzone can cause you to miss a lot of shots. But in this section, we're going to go over the attachments you should be using. Yeah. Now, no matter what type of playstyle you're going for, you're going to need this attachment right here. This is one of the most critical attachments. It's the 7.62 NATO overpressure. And what this attachment does, it increases the bullet velocity. And bullet velocity is basically how fast the bullet goes after you shoot. So the higher the velocity, the less bullet drop it has and the faster your shot goes. Now, if you're one of those people that feel like your shot is still inconsistent after changing your settings that we did in the first section, then these next two attachments are for you. One of those attachments is going to be the precision pad. As you can see, it increases the aim and idle sway and horizontal recoil control. So after you shoot, it'll have less gun kick and you'll have more accurate shots. The next attachment is going to be the target laser. As you can see, it increases the aiming idle sway and the aiming walking steadiness. This one is better, but it does show when you aim down sight. It doesn't matter anyways because it got that big ass glare when you aim down sight with the scope. Running the target laser and the precision pad at the same time might be a bit of an overkill, especially if you're just using 5 attachments. But at the end of this section, I got a gunfighter build that has both attachments that's a bit overkill. Now, if you're one of those people that got too used to playing with that punk ass Car 98 and you feel like these snipers is just not mobile enough, they don't ADS fast enough, I'm gonna give you some attachments that you should be running so it can make it feel more like that damn gun. Now, one attachment that does increase the ADS speed is the quick draw laser. As you can see, without this attachment, the ADS speed is 520 milliseconds, but with this attachment, it changed it to 460 milliseconds. Now, if you need even a bit more ADS speed, you could go over here and run the fast mag, and it changes it to 446 milliseconds. Yeah. Now, if you want more speed when you're running with this sniper, you're going to need to run the light stock. As you can see, it increases the movement speed 23%. Now, in this part of the section, I'm going to give you my top 3 loadouts. This is only with the frost line because that's mostly what I play with, but hopefully after this video, you have a bit more understanding of the attachments and you could incorporate that into other snipers in the game. Now, this first build right here, I recommend for all the people who are new to sniping. It's kind of neutral in between the good damage range and a good mobility. As you can see, I got the quick draw riser, the target laser, and the overpressure, plus the monolithic and reinforced barrel. So this build is kind of for people who are chill, laid back, not too aggressive, but you can get aggressive if you need to. Now, this second build is more on the aggressive side. As you can see, I didn't even bother putting a barrel on it, so I wouldn't recommend this build if you plan on playing battle royale. But as you can see, I got the precision pad, the fast mag, the light stock, the target laser, and the overpressure rounds. You could get away with not using a barrel in Rebirth Island because, as you can see, it has a decent amount of damage range still. Now, if you really want to get toxic, this is that gunfighter build I was talking about from earlier. As you can see, I literally have every attachment on it. I got the monolithic suppressor, the reinforced barrel, the precision pad, fast mag, ergonomic riser, light stock, target laser, and the NATO overpressure. I would most definitely recommend running this if you're playing battle royale, and if you're using this in Rebirth Island, you toxic, but at least you're not playing with that punk ass Car 98. Now, a little bonus that helps your shot even be a little bit more accurate, you're going to want to run the perk veteran. As you can see, it reduces flinching while you're ADS, and you can hold your breath for even longer. So this right here is basically like a free attachment. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so this last section we're going to be going over is what sets apart the average sniper to a great one, and that is aiming and positioning. Even though what we went through in section 1 and section 2 sets you up to become a better sniper, if you don't have this part down tact, it won't really matter at all. So basically, you just want to have your crosshair centered in the middle of your screen at all times, not to the left, not down. I know even sometimes when you run, it might be hard, but you have to keep that crosshair up and centered. When you have your crosshair centered in the middle of the screen, you have a better chance at hitting that headshot, because at the end of the day, that's the only target you should be aiming for. A sniper's only one shot to the cranium, because if not, your crosshairs are aimed down to the leg, you're gonna get a hit mark. And little Timmy over there is a tryhard. He's playing with the meta, and that's what's gonna happen. You're gonna get melted, young buck. When sniping, you already got the disadvantage. One trick to ease out that little advantage that they have is to use the environment. What are you doing, Brody? Chill. Let's talk about it. As you can see, this bozo thought he was about to camp my loadie, but I did not try to sit there and scope in the middle of the open, ladies and gentlemen, because that would be blasphemy. Take advantage of the environment and go get you some cover, brother. Another way to get rid of that disadvantage is to always have high ground. When you have high ground, you get that perfect bird's eye view that you need as a sniper, and enemies won't know you're there until it's too late. In this last section, we're gonna go over how to hit moving targets. Yeah. If a sniper has low velocity, then a bullet travel time would be terrible, and you will have to lead into your shots even more. As you can see in this clip, while Buddy was moving, I didn't put my crosshairs directly where he was, but I led it to where he was gonna be. If you put a lot of attachments on your build that increase the velocity, then the less you will have to lead into the shot. That was a nicer shot, brother. Hello, back eye. Oh my goodness. But no matter what, if you're shooting at long distances, then you'll have to lead into your shot even more. He said, oh, my schooner. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes this video on how to become a better sniper in Warzone. Thank you for making it to the end of the video. And if you stayed this long, that means you deserve this next tip I'm about to give you. And that tip is, please subscribe to your boy.